Hey, everybody in internet land. Thanks for tuning in. I'm very honored to be joined this evening by Brad from Five Times August. Brad, thanks for joining me.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So I have to say, I'm kind of fanboying because I've been following you over the past couple years and just amazed at your output and the songs you're writing. And so, yeah, it's just such a treat to have
Cool.
you here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be here. I'm amazed by it myself, honestly, because it's a lot of it's music that I always would have wanted to have written, but I never would have written had we not been through this. So it's been a weird silver lining of having to go through all this garbage, but on my end, I've found myself, as an artist, that kind of path that I was always looking for. Because I stayed very center aisle for a really long time, just writing pop tunes, ballad songs, um, and then it was kind of uncomfortable coming out of my shell, feeling like I've got to say something here. I don't, I'm going to lose fans, but I should say something, So it's weird, to reflect on the last couple of years and uh, when I listen to some of these songs, I'm like, wow, like I'm proud of these songs. Like, it's one of those things as an artist, because you can listen back to some of your songs sometimes and go like, oh gosh, like all those songs that I was proud of when I was, in my early 20s or something. Like now you listen back and you go, okay, those were nice little love songs, but these are deep. How did
Yeah,
I
man.
tap into that? But and you're
Yeah.
doing that too now. I mean, you're speaking out too, and you're censored now as well. You've joined the club.
Yep. It's crazy. I've been aware of the YouTube censorship, the big tech censorship for a while, but to I have to admit I was a little shook when YouTube censored our video, banned it. They took it down going into 4th of July weekend. It had been up for like maybe a week,
Hmm.
and it reached a few hundred views, and it was starting to get traction, and then it just I just got a notice. Like I clicked the link, and it was just this has been removed because it violated our community standards.
Hmm.
And then I signed into YouTube, and it's accusing us of medical misinformation. And to me,
Oh,
it's like, man, it was Orwellian enough when they were censoring doctors and
mhm,
scientists.
yeah.
When Dr. Malone or
Hmm.
Dr. Peter McCullough are getting censored, or Brett Weinstein, but
Hmm.
when they've started coming after art, that's
Yeah.
like I was shook by that. I was like, this
Yeah.
we've entered a new phase of Orwell's hell.
Hmm. Yeah. That was something so you went through what I went through when I put out Sad Little Man. And, that song, that was my sort of real test, because YouTube was sort of messing with my videos at the time. My video for Jesus, What Happened to Us had been age restricted, even though there's really nothing in
It
it
still
that's,
is, man. I went back and revisited that. I had to sign in to confirm my age. They don't want the
yeah.
youngsters watching, but they can watch Cardi B,
Yeah.
or
Well, see,
whatever
that's
else.
that's the irony of it, is that the second edit that I uploaded that's now not flag, I replaced scenes from the video. They wouldn't tell me why it was flagged for 18 and up, so I had to sort of guess. I made 11 edits of the Jesus What Happened video, because I was like, okay, if we're going to play this game, then I'll play the game. The video is just clips that you can find anywhere else online. So I can just interchange them and still get my message across. But I'll play this game. So I would make an edit and upload it, and it'd get flagged instantaneously. Like nobody even watched it. It's just algorithm flagged it.
Yep.
So I did another edit and another edit. And finally, and while this was happening with Jesus, What Happened to Us, um, I was having back and forth um, on Twitter with YouTube's YouTube creator account, and I was like, why can Cardi B's video be up and have billions of views, and why can Childish Gambino's video be up? So anyway, I took those videos, those music videos, Cardi B, Childish Gambino's, and who is the other dude? Not Lil Nas. I took clips from that and just put those in place of what I thought were the most disturbing clips from my video. And I put their clips into the second edit of or I should say the 11th edit of Jesus, What Happened to Us. And that one got through. So if you watch the new edit, the second upload of Jesus What Happened to Us, that's on my channel, that's not age restricted, you'll see those other video clips that are in it. So it's crazy. But
YouTube ever respond to you? Did you ever
no,
get anybody?
I had a long back and forth about Sad Little Man because they flagged it for medical misinformation. And as I was saying before I went on that tangent, like that was my real test. It was like, I'm not going to say Fauci. I'm not going to say vaccines. I'm going to write a song that if you heard this song, then you wouldn't really know who it's about. It could be about anybody, really. You could apply it to other people. I should say. It's not until you watch the video specifically that you're like, uh-oh, I'm going in and out.
Yeah, I see you've been kind of frozen.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully you'll unfreeze. Let's see.
Okay.
I will solo myself.
That's
that was a very flattering freeze frame of you. It's kind of like the end of like a 70, end of the A-Teens episode or something.
That's great.
We'll see if you come back, but yeah, it's wild that we have to write music. You actually have to think like, how can I get this message across, but be subversive about it? Because if I just come out and say what I want to say as an artist, as a songwriter, that YouTube's going to ban it, and that's really the world's largest search engine is going to ban it because they're owned by Google.
Yeah, and so they flagged it for medical misinformation after all, just like your video. And again, like there's nothing really in it. It's an artistic statement. It's a
there we go. We're back.
My back. Okay.
Oh, so yeah. While we're on that topic, our video for "Do Not Comply," which is the newest single that we put out, and we had the stop motion animation to accompany it. And it's basically just a lyric video. It's just like images set to the lyrics of the song. Now, the lyrics of the song are fine because the song is up there, like we distributed through CD Baby, and you can watch the song with just like the artwork in the background. And I posted a video of me performing it just to see, like, will they take down a guy in a guitar singing songs with no curse words? There's no obscenities, nothing. And that was fine. So, but anyway, we appealed. They accused us of medical misinformation. They pulled the video, but they did get back to me, and they said YouTube got back to me, and they said we've made a special edit that we feel comfortable with restoring the video. If you're fine with this, do you want to see the edit that they made? The safe and effective edit?
Sure.
All right, sure. Check it out. It's short, so here you go. Enjoy. And there you have it.
Did you see? I didn't even see it. It didn't show up on my
end. It didn't show on your end? Okay. Well, hopefully
No.
hopefully the viewers that are watching got it. Basically, it's just the opening intro, and then it just cuts out to like white noise, and then it cuts to a black screen that says, "Go back to sleep. The government and Big Pharma love you." Uh-oh. I just lost you, Brad. May have lost you altogether. All right. Well, we're gonna hope that Brad reconnects here. Maybe YouTube took out Brad. They didn't like my joke. So anyway, I'm gonna entertain you in Brad's absence here. One thing that we're doing this live stream because we want to promote our show that we have coming up this Saturday in Nashville. We are playing the Cobra in Nashville. It's going to be awesome. And we've got Ryan Christian of The Last American Vagabond, probably one of the world's finest independent journalists, who's also a songwriter. He's going to be opening the show. And then we're going to have Brad doing his thing, and then we'll be on, and then Nashville local Campbell Harrison. So if you are anywhere near Nashville, please grab tickets to the show this Saturday, July 16th at the Cobra in Nashville. And I think Brad is back. Brad, you're back.
Man, the streaming gods really hate me. I did a podcast with my brother for a year, and it's like every episode I had a problem. And we were fine right before the stream, but it's when you go live, it's like they don't want us to talk about the censorship we were talking about.
Exactly. I made that. I made that joke. I don't think they liked my jokey,
Oh,
safe and effective edit of my video, and then they were like, "Let's get that guy out of there. Let's cut
yeah.
his feed."
Get them out. They're talking about us. Ooh. Yeah, you do start to feel that way because it's like every avenue you go down to try and get around censorship or suppression. Something happens where you're just like, that's weird. Even today, um, stop the shots. The hashtag was trending on Twitter, and as I was typing it in, of course, it didn't show up in the search on Twitter, and it's every single time there's something, and so you get a little bit more on edge about things than you normally would, which makes you seem a little more nutty to people, I guess. The onlookers from the other side.
Yes, but you're not paranoid if they're really out to
I'm not
get you.
paranoid, no.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you mentioned your song "Jesus, What Happened to Us," and that was the first song of yours that I heard. Uh, Sad to say, I wasn't familiar with your work before all the COVID insanity of
Mhm.
the past 2 years, and a friend of mine who is a real he's the sweetest dude. He's real holistic. He does acupuncture, and he works at a place that has like a pink Himalayan like salt room, a
Mhm.
salt cave, and he just
Cool.
he texted me the song, a link to the YouTube video, and I just watched it. I was blown away, and I was like, I'm so glad somebody else is
Yeah.
speaking out, because that's the one thing that's been so wild about the past 2 years is seeing all your heroes, all your artistic heroes. Man, like I love rock
Mhm.
and roll has saved my life. Really,
Mhm.
it pulled me out of some dark periods of my adolescence, and I've just always seen rock and roll as this like liberating force and a rebellious thing. And
Mhm.
some of my favorite artists, like Dylan or
Right.
even Rage Against the Machine back in the day. And
Right.
it's like, and then you see 2 years in the most extreme government overreach,
Mhm.
and all your favorite artists that were supposed to be the rebels are just either completely quiet, completely silent, or
Mhm.
they're like compliant and they're actually like pushing the same thing that you
Yeah.
know
Yeah, it's disappointing for sure. That's kind of Can you hear me okay? I know it looks like I'm kind of
I can
getting
hear you. I can
you
hear you.
can
It's
hear me. Am
just
I frozen again?
looks like looks like you're frozen, but
Oh
it's
my gosh.
you just look good. It looks like you're modeling. It looks like you're kind
Okay.
of doing a Zoolander thing
I'm
where it
gonna have to
cuts
keep
and
a good looking face on myself in case it freezes again over and over again. But um, I'll just keep the conversation rolling anyway. But yeah, it's very it sucks because you grow up admiring these guys, and they're sort of your heroes. This is the time to speak out and for them to show the world everything that they were saying all those years prior were this is the time to show that that's what they really meant, and and that's one of the things that kind of pushed me early on was like I'm looking around going like where's all my guys, where's all my I grew up listening to 60s music, and that was like prime protest music time, and yeah, nobody was really doing it. It's all unsigned indie guys. There's a very few. There's Eric Clapton and there's Van Morrison, and those were the only two guys from that era that really meant what they said. And that was a sad thing too, was to watch Eric Clapton speak out. He actually got this shot and then spoke out and told people his experience. He was still labeled an anti-vax crazy head. So you see this stuff happen, and then from one song to the next over the last couple of years, I find myself more and more getting the same treatment from people, as the music is out there, and you're a part of an event or something like that, and you see coverage of the event and how they misrepresented it, and they paint you as a crazy person for no reason, and other than it, it's their own agenda.
well, it's been really weird to see this. It's like just a paradigm shift in the political spectrum. because think about it, like, I'm like the last wave. I consider myself like part of the last wave of Gen X. And when I was coming up, it was, it was a lot of people. It was all the people on the left side of the political spectrum and the artists speaking out against censorship. I remember like things like Body Count or Rage Against the Machine or whatever, and all these bands saying, we can't allow the government to censor our music, censor our lyrics. And then over the past 2 years, you had these people, and you talk about the 60s, you had people like Joni Mitchell and Neil Young and Crosby,
Mhm.
Stills, Nash and Young
Mhm.
pulling their music and giving ultimatums to these streaming platforms. Like, if you don't censor people, man, you don't get to have, Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
It's just insane. Like, it
Yeah.
just feels like Bizarro World. It feels like
Yeah.
maybe that Hydrogen Collider or whatever, the thing, maybe that went on and we now are in an alternate universe, because
Yeah.
all the things that seem to make sense before 2020 are like Bizarro
Yeah.
World.
Yeah, that's the disheartening thing is like the they're using music as a divisive thing. It's one thing to say what you want to say through music, but then to draw that line in the sand with your fans and to say, well, it's either the way I think or you can't have my music. It That's why I respect guys like Van Morrison and Eric Clapton. Is what they did was they took their point of view and funneled it through song, which is our job, and that's what I've done. And yeah, it has divided the fans that I had prior to speaking out, but I never asked them to stop listening. I never said you're get out of here with like you see so many actors do and or musicians doing right now is, well, if you don't think that way, then just a good riddance to you. I never took that approach. In fact, is the opposite, where I spoke out, then I would get a message from a fan and they'd say, I can't believe you said that, I'm done with you. And they wouldn't have the conversation. It was sort of like, okay, well, I'm not telling you to leave, the door's open, when you're ready to come back. So I started to look at these songs as sort of an investment in time too. It's like, you'll come around down the road. You don't get it.
I keep we lost Brad again. Um, I keep thinking that's going to happen as more and more things come to light and officials kind of change their story or accept things that people supposedly on the fringe were saying right out the gate. Also see and change the resolution here and see if this helps Brad's connection at all. And while we wait for Brad to return, I'm gonna show you his video, "Sad Little Man," which he made mention of. It's a doozy. So enjoy.
Sad little man sitting deep in a lie. He's dead in his soul, but he'll keep you alive. Do what he says, not what he do, 'cause the truth is for him and the lie is for you. Sad little man, but he's treated like a god, as the faithless pray to a fake and a fraud. Worship the man, pledge to his word. One shot, two shot, now you get a third. Sad little man, sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. Sad little man, gonna trap you like a dog, put your head in a net while they eat you raw. Don't ask why, just comply, 'cause fear is the drug that the doctor prescribed. Sad little man, you can watch him on the news, preaching to his choir while they learn the rules. Some feel safe and some feel healed, but they'll all hold his hand as he makes the kill. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. Sad little man, and he wants your kids. Some might live while the rest get sick. So put them to the test and listen for the yell. When the truth comes out, he's gonna burn in hell. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. You can't fool me, you sad little man.
Brad, you're back.
I'm back. Yes, I just leave whenever I want.
Yeah, I figured instead of telling more jokes in your absence, I've got some great dad jokes, but I don't want to waste them all on this live stream. I thought I would play your video.
Well, thanks for the plug. You know, we actually have a game in the house that's a whole dad joke card game, and the object of the game is to read them to each other, and they're so bad, but the person who laughs loses. But I'm sure there's some good ones in there. We could spend a whole show.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. That will be our next podcast. It'll just be dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So with Sad Little Man, YouTube didn't ban that though. Did they ever did they ever pull it?
They did. And well, what happened was they hid it from the search engine. What happened was I released it. It was out for like a week. And then Glenn Beck shared it on his show. And it started rocketing the views. And I was getting these comments from people saying, hey, this was really hard for me to find in the search. And so I did a search myself, and I wasn't seeing my own upload. I started seeing other people's uploads from it. And so that was where the back and forth happened, was like, I did what you did. And I uploaded a performance of myself just singing it, and seeing if that would, just pop up. And sure enough, that showed up in the search engine right away. But my initial upload did not. So they took that away. Eventually, they somehow reapplied it, but you can tell it's been messed with on the back end, looking at the analytics and stuff. So I have 2 uploads of Sad Little Man on my channel.
But you just re-uploaded the same edit. The one that they pulled, and they pulled it for medical misinformation. Is that what they labeled it?
Medical misinformation. And I had a lot of back and forth with Google support on that, saying, what's the medical misinformation, so I can know, it's, if you're going to tell me it's medical misinformation, what is it that I said? And they would never tell me. And I poked at them even more. And I said, do you have any people that are reviewing these videos that are, medical professionals? And their response was something like, we can't answer that. And, they leave it vague and mysterious or whatever. And they take you down a long road of nothingness, because they don't want to tell you that they're just messing with you, because you don't go with, you're not going with the narrative.
Yeah, I think it's basically anything that they deem, anything that goes against CDC or WHO guidelines. Or anything they deem that would lead to any V word hesitancy. But I say they should be consistent. I say, why stop with us, right? They should pull off any content that makes people question the big pharmaceutical companies and the government. So I think they should pull V for Vendetta. They should pull, they've got YouTube TV or whatever too. They should pull The Matrix. They should pull any documentary series about the opioid epidemic. Anything that shows pharmaceuticals or big pharma in any negative light. I mean, people can't be trusted with that. I mean, they might be skeptical. They might actually start questioning these giant corporations that are just out for profit.
We don't want them thinking by themselves. No, not at all. It's funny, because there's so many other examples that should be pulled from the internet in general, or just Hollywood movies. And like, speaking of like the gun debate and everything, it's like, it's all the actors that have been in action movies and shooting up joints in the movies that come out later, and they're like, we got to get rid of the guns. You're like, well, wait a minute, like, if you are such a strong proponent of gun control, why are you in so many movies with guns? You should never be in a movie with a gun. And it's the same thing. Like, okay, YouTube, well, if you're going to take down this video, why don't you go ahead and take down, the Childish Gambino's video, which was one of my big examples was like, he mows down a church choir with a semi-automatic rifle. Why don't they take that down instead of letting it accumulate 800 million views over the last couple of years? Well, no, because he's part of the system. He's part of, that video is okay. And you see that sort of, it's like the George Carlin joke where he's like, it's a big club and you're not in it. And you find that out more and more as you lean into your own views of things.
And I mean, the club at the top just seems to be getting smaller and smaller, and leaving us out of it, or anything that doesn't fit that narrative or that agenda. So yeah, Jesus, what happened to us? That's the first song I ever heard. Blew me away. And then I think I heard Out of Your Mind.
Out of Your Damn Mind, yeah.
Out of Your Damn Mind. We saw the video for it. I love all your videos too, man. Do you do your videos? Or do you have somebody that you work with on those?
No, that was just something that I knew I needed a visual to do it. And, I was thinking of ways to enhance that message in what I do in the audio way. How can I, make that a visual message as well? So it's kind of cool because it's still an extension of what I want to say as an artist. And I've found different ways to do it, whether it be clip shows, for the rallies that have happened all around the world, or animations like Sad Little Man. And that's funny too, because I was doing a kids project prior to the whole pandemic thing, and I couldn't have been further away from being Mr. Protest artist. I was doing like really positive kids music stuff, and I was making videos for that too. And had I never done those videos, I would not have known how to make a video like Sad Little Man, or the one I did about Justin Trudeau, This Just In, like,
yeah.
And that sort of helped me also create my own sort of style. And so, again, find myself as an artist and be like, okay, I do protest music and I make these cool little videos, So it's neat. It's a weird path that, it's one of those things where you look back on your career and you go, I think that my entire career path led me to here, and you get very spiritual about it, because it's like, I think all that stuff happened for a reason. So I would be, here at this point with this frame of mind and with this amount of guts to do it, because apparently, like there's a handful of us out there. There's you guys and everybody that's going to be at the show in Nashville, and there's a good chunk of rappers out there that are speaking out. But again, it's all indie guys,
Yeah.
And
I love High Res and Jimmy.
Yeah, and those are great guys too. And that there's a lot to be said about that, because they're not tethered to anything. We're not tethered to a record label, to managers, to lawyers. And that's why I think you don't see very many people in the mainstream speaking out, unless they just really don't care, like Van Morrison or Eric Clapton. I think they're like, you know what? Like, I've had my career. What are you going to do? I'm Eric Clapton. I'm Van Morrison. But so many other people are like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat, or I don't want to make my record label upset because I've got this clause in my contract that says I can't say this or that. So we're free,
Yeah,
as free can be.
We have a distribution deal with a small indie label for the record we put out in 2020 called Empires, and that has the song New World Order on it. And so that was the first kind of controversial video and song that we put out that was addressing the things that have been going on over the past 2 years. And we put it out in December of 2020. And I, like yourself, I've been doing most of the video work. I edit them myself. That's why I was so bummed when they pulled Do Not Comply, because it's motion graphics. And I don't know how to do that. I mean, well, thank you. I found like a really talented dude in Ireland to animate it, but like I gave him like the most detailed like storyboards. Like I gave him like a whole like PowerPoint. I was like, use this image and then cut to this, and like so much time, and then YouTube just like yanks that. If anybody wants to watch that video, it's still on Rumble. It's still on Odyssey. Just look up Faithless Town, Do Not Comply. But yeah, man, I'm very impressed with your stop motion collage work. I love the style of Sad Little Man and This Just In. It's like, it's got a certain whimsical quality to it, which helps to kind of lighten, like it
Yeah.
makes it more digestible because
Mhm.
talking about really dark stuff,
Mhm.
because those the times that we found ourselves in, and that
Mhm.
we're just kind of trying to address that and respond to it. But when even just like the kind of lilting of the groove to Sad Little Man kind of puts you in a
Mhm.
place where like, okay, this would kind of be fun, and there's
Yeah.
like some levity to it. And
Yeah.
then same thing with the animation, even though you're talking about some real like serious, life and
Yeah.
death things, really.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing is, between Sad Little Man and This Just In, and even the Joe video that I put out that, kinda rails against Biden, uh, some people look at them and they come back and like, "That was hilarious," and others are like, "Oh my gosh, I started watching it and I was like, 'Oh, this is funny,' but by the end of the video, I was like, 'Wow,' it's more serious than I thought it was gonna be." But it's kind of it does sort of offer some levity, to the situation that we're all in, is that, I think more people than not look at Fauci as a clown. Give him clown shoes, give him a big giant head, put a crown on his head, and make a caricature of these people because, that's really how most people see them. And I think that, when you put that out there, you have a better chance of reaching somebody that might disagree with you. It's all about that sort of presentation when you see these things, and you can not like the message of what I'm saying, but at least you can still say it was a catchy song, or oh, it's a pretty good video. You want to give them the least amount of, you know,
Ammunition to fire back.
ammunition. Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, your songs suck and you're a conspiracy nut, but you know what? The animation was good. So it's like, all right, then I win.
Yeah. Yeah, I had some guy tell me that he found my music too political and my lyrics too insensitive. And I
Oh.
was thinking, uh, and I've always kind of considered myself a sensitive artist,
Mhm.
like yourself. I mean, I had political songs back in the day. I did like two solo albums, and the
Mhm.
second one was right after 9/11, the war in Iraq, and I had a song on my second record called War Machine. And it was basically quoted Gandhi, like eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind. And it was addressing those things. So it's not completely new subject matter to me, but it's like for the most part, I've just been writing songs about, the tales of Americans, like,
Mhm.
hardworking Americans. And like a song off our new record is Coal Mining Man. It just tells the story of, a guy that spent his whole life or 25 years of his life as a underground coal miner in Eastern Kentucky. And now the plants are closing, the mines are closing. He's kind of lost, doesn't know where life goes from there. And
Mhm.
inspired from, stories that I've read and heard from people. And I just
Mhm.
wanted to write stuff about that. And then, yeah, occasionally, yeah, now I'm writing songs too that are pointing out that there is an evil, corrupt apparatus that has an
Mhm.
agenda in store for us, and it's all out in the open. And if anybody
Yeah.
thinks it's a conspiracy theory, I'd say it's a conspiracy reality. Just check
Yeah.
out the World Economic Forum. It's all out in the open. Check out the
Yeah.
United Nations Agenda 2030. I
Mhm.
mean, those aren't conspiracies or tinfoil hat things. It's all out in the open. You can go to the
Mhm.
World Economic Forum's website and read their plans. You read their essays that say, "Welcome to 2030. You
Mhm.
own nothing, have no privacy, and you've never been happier."
Mhm.
I mean, we're not inventing this stuff. So it just amazes me when like I have a grown man go, "Your lyrics are insensitive, man." I'm like,
Yeah.
who are they insensitive to? The
Yeah.
government? Like
Mhm.
the big pharma? Like,
Yeah.
wow,
Whose feelings am I hurting?
I'm so glad that those underdogs have somebody fighting for them, you know?
Yeah, that's the funny thing is when somebody comes to my page and you know, they'll label you a grift or something. They'll say like, "Oh, you're just doing this to make money off of the conspiracy, nuts out there." And it's like, yeah, it's the independent singer-songwriter, recording out of his bedroom that's going after the big bucks. And it's definitely not the big pharmaceutical companies that like that have already gone through millions and millions and millions of dollars that have so much to lose. It's just funny because the mindset is flipped. If you listen back to, I was listening to a song today, I can't remember what it was, But it's pointing out just the corruption. It is a song that was 40 years old, and it's pointing out the corruption in government and stuff. And it's like none of this is new, for a long time. Trusting you didn't trust the media. You didn't trust what you saw on TV. Everybody knew this. You don't politicians. This was just the general consensus of everybody. You knew this, but then somewhere over the Trump era, it was like it got twisted and distorted. And on the other side of it, once you got out of the Trump era, it was like, okay, well, the media is the good guys, and the government is everything now. And the big pharmaceuticals have our best interest in it. And there's no reason why they would give us bad things, and it's twisted. And you can't connect with those people because now they have a whole new vocabulary that is different from pre-2020. And it's the what is the woman conversation on different levels. It's like we all had basic understandings, for a really long time, like the whole of existence. We all kind of knew certain things, and now it's distorted and weird, and there's a whole other side to people now that you've literally seen them go through a brainwashing, and it's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we've just seen a total system failure, like all the things that were kind of in place. Well, what I realized is that the one blind spot that all the modern democracies have in common was the public health apparatus, right? So they realized that you can kind of circumvent the whole democratic process, the legislative process, if you just do it through this centralized public health apparatus coming down from WHO or CDC. And then it just overrides everything, even to the point where like YouTube's pulling the videos of little independent singer songwriters because they're saying we have to abide by the guidelines of these big.
Your song might hurt somebody. It might convince them to hurt them by not doing what the government says. And that's just crazy. That's part of the conversation is like, and they truly believe it. There's some intern behind YouTube or whatever that's making these calls, and that's like, well, I've been trained to know that you're hurting somebody, and there's no other side to that conversation. This is what I've been told, and I believe in it, and I'm going to, and they have that control, and so they take advantage of it. I even lost my Wikipedia page after 15 years, and I had a back and forth with an editor, like, who knows me more than me? Why are you getting to choose what's on my Wikipedia page and not me? Nobody cares about my Wikipedia page, but they felt it in that they needed to take it down. It was up forever. I come out with Sad Little Man. Got to come down now. They don't want people, and it's like that's information. You're just a big dictionary, a big a big thesaurus of information. And so why am I taking up prime real estate on Wikipedia? No, nobody's really going there. So it's just, it's crazy because you put these things out little by little, you find, oh yeah, it's really a messed up system. They'll pull you out of here, and they'd rather just make you disappear than let you have your say.
Yeah, and it's scary that it feels like a lot of people feel, well, hopefully the last 2 years of madness are behind us, and that COVID is behind us. I would like to believe that, but there's definitely large factions of the population that don't want to let it go. That it's like every time somebody tests themselves, it's like you're just prolonging this thing, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, think about that. You talk about how people's thought processes and opinions have changed. It's like now people run out and test themselves at the first sign of sniffles.
Yeah.
Or like a chill, or like just that they're going on a trip.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, when else in the history of the world have people tested themselves when they had no symptoms or like the mildest of symptoms?
Well, I'll tell you, the peak of the insanity is that Uvalde video, the security video that came out over the last couple of days, was one of the officers that was there at the shooting. There's now security video of him reaching over to squeeze hand sanitizer in his hand while they're waiting in the hallway, while there's a mass shooter at the end of the hallway. And in his brain, for some reason, he thought he needed to go and squeeze the hand pump on the wall, that they had in the hallway. And would he have done that had we not gone through the last 2 years? Would that even registered in his brain? I don't know what any of those guys were thinking. They're all accomplices in my mind at this point. But like,
oh yeah, we're making sure this is going to get pulled off YouTube.
Yeah, this video will be down before morning.
It's like, thanks, Brad. That's my second strike on YouTube. Thanks, buddy.
I'm a danger to your YouTube channel. I always forget that we are on YouTube because I want to have just a conversation with people. I think that's what people want, but you can't even do that these days.
Man, I'm not worried. We'll take the second strike if that's what we get. It'll stay up on Facebook. The nice thing now is we're on these alternative platforms that actually value free speech, like Odyssey and Rumble. And the nice thing is, while you still have an active YouTube account, you can connect it to Rumble and Odyssey. So every time you upload, it'll just go automatically. So you're not having to re-upload it to all these multiple platforms. So that's really nice. That's kind of just like the best benefit of YouTube. Like I like it just for that, just so because like it's connected to these other more free and open platforms.
Yeah, I found myself on so many different platforms besides Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Locals is one. I saw that in the chat. I'm on Locals now. I'm trying to still build that one up. And Gab. What's the other ones that are out there? Getter, Truth.
You're on Getter. We're on Getter.
Yep. So there's a lot of other options out there. The only reason I kind of stay on Twitter and Facebook at this point is because I know that I still have fans who disagree with me on there. And I like putting stuff up just for them sometimes, because it's like those are the people you still sort of have to poke, because you can go to Gab and you can post these things, and if there's good community there, they will definitely support what you're saying. That's the whole reason most anybody is over.
Oh, it looks like we just lost Brad. I don't know why. We lost Brad again. I'm telling you, they have it out for him. They do not like his internet. While we're waiting for Brad to come back, I'm going to take this opportunity and play you the Live Free video that we put out, I guess, a couple months ago now. And this is another one off our new record, Into the Light, Volume 1, streaming everywhere. I hope you enjoy it. Here it goes.
Open your eyes and see the lies that you've been told. Your mind doesn't belong to you anymore. Fear is not a virtue, it's time to be brave. Do you want to live free or die as a slave? So live free. Turn off the TV and think for yourself before we're all enslaved in a living hell. They want complete control over everyone. Now's the time to fight back, the war has begun. So live free and be brave. May they see and be saved. now's the time to rise up and stand as one and live free and be brave. May they see and be saved.
He's back.
That's like number 5.
Man, I'll tell you, I think, yeah, your internet company is probably owned by Klaus Schwab,
Yeah.
I guess.
He's talking
or-
about other social media accounts. Boop. Get him out of here.
I mean, that's where we're headed, right? That's like the
Yeah.
real technocratic control. Now it's just censorship. Then it'll be like, sorry, your social credits rating is not high enough to allow you to go online today.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. That's why we have to put our foot down now with a lot of things. It's like now, if we keep going down this path and we just keep allowing and, tolerating and accepting the insanity, we're on a free fall of insanity, and we got to stop it. Because that's it's like, okay, if we don't stop now, what's next? And that's what it's going to be, and not just with censorship, but with so many different things.
I think you see it with what's happening in the Netherlands right now, where you see what's going on with the Dutch farmers. I don't know if you've been following that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the EU put forth these really strict guidelines to make things more green friendly and restrict nitrogen and other greenhouse gas emissions. And basically, the Netherlands are really taking it the next step and trying to put 50% of the farmers out of business, which is also going to cripple the global food supply chain, and also these are these people's livelihood. Not only are they doing a great job in providing food for the country and the world, but this is like maybe their generations of their family have worked these farms, and now the government's just coming in saying, no, sorry, you can't run your farm anymore, and we're going to take your land. So there's a massive uprising there, and they're taking a page out of the Freedom Convoy from Canada, and gridlocking the streets and taking tractors to the Capitol, and you have Dutch police shooting at them. I mean, talk about like gun control. You hear about like the Netherlands, like there's no gun violence over there, and they're shooting at like teenage farmers in tractors as they retreat.
Right. And that's the whole argument right there. With here in America, it's like, if you're paying attention and what's happening all around the world, no, you are not allowed to take away our guns. It's in the Constitution anyway, but there's example number 1. What happens in every country that gets disarmed? Oh yeah, they're under mercy of their government, and it's not even the police, it's the government's police. And you can see that happening with our military here too, is they're sort of weeding out the non-compliant military and police, and we're soon going to have stormtroopers, just like in Star Wars, where they all look the same and they come knocking on your door, and you've got to appease the empire. And that's why we've got to stop.
They will use your preferred pronouns though when they come to drag you out of your house.
Yeah.
They will say,
Sir?
"What are your preferred pronouns?"
No. Yeah. Sir, is this are you the homeowner? I don't go by sir. I go by ma'am.
Yeah, and you say ma'am, and then before they bash you in the head, they'll be like, "Okay, ma'am." Before they hit you,
then they crack Golan. Yes. Yeah.
It'll be a progressive fascism. So
little by little, and that's true though. That's not even it is little by little, and 10 years from now, it's going to be a whole other story unless we all get up and do something about it. America's really fallen behind on standing up for for all of this, and that's something that I really wish we could get off our asses and really make a statement, like Canada has done, like they've done out there. But we're so complacent in our life and how it is and the luxuries that we have. And so most of us have, most people, we've got jobs to go to, and we don't have time to do what Antifa does and just go waste time and follow people in the bathrooms and scream and shout and paint our crotches red. People don't have time to do that. But we're told those are the sane people, and we're the crazies. So
yeah, certain types of protesting are okay and almost state sanctioned, and then other forms of protesting are not allowed.
Right.
And must be stopped. Well, speaking of standing up, this one of the coolest things you did this year was you played. I think that was this year, right? In January, you played the Defeat the Mandates rally in DC at the So I got some pictures from that. So that's you. Is that in front of the Lincoln Memorial?
It was in front of the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
That was an amazing event, and something again that I never would have dreamed of doing.
And I got another one here where you can see that crowd. I heard estimates of 30 upwards to 37,000 people.
Something like that. It was unbelievable, and it was a really nice day. Like, it was cold, but as far as the tone of everybody who attended, it was like a peaceful, like a hippie fest kind of thing. There in the diversity that you've got. Everybody's always talking about diversity and everything. That was there that day. There were so many different people there, just sharing stories, hugging each other. It's very harmonious. And then you read the article that comes out the next day, and whatever media that would cover it, and they badmouth it, and then they say they what they did was they picked out the one. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said something about the Holocaust, so they zoned in on that, and they were like, he said something about the Holocaust, and now it's a terrible event, and they cast out anything else that happened that day, and they just, did you hear what he said about the Holocaust? You can't do that. And they did the same thing in LA. They did Defeat the Mandates in LA, and that was an all day, like 8-hour event, and it was awesome, and everybody was positive and really cool. And then the article that came out, that the first article I saw about it was hundreds gather, and it was like 10,000 people. So it was like gather for a conspiracy festival, or they make it sound like a cuckoo thing, but it's like it's just a nice positive event of people that are there for one thing. And those are really cool, because there are people there that don't agree on everything, but they're there for one specific cause, and that's we're against this government control. You can be right or left, and you can be pro-choice or pro-life or whatever, but they're all there. We're all there united that day, and that's what I miss about our former world, was that we didn't all have to agree. It wasn't either black or white. It was very gray, and you could be friends with this person. You didn't have to agree with every single little thing. We weren't working towards a totalitarian mindset of you're either this or you're bad. And I really hope that we can get back to that at the end of all this.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like it's an authoritarian culture. I think it's basically what China's social credit system is. It's like the precursor to that. It's like you get people already within the culture ostracizing their friends and family that speak out against the government. And you have the tech companies, the press cover it in a bad light or censor it. And then eventually, I guess, next step is you get to a point where it's like, I mean, we already see people losing their jobs because they don't hold the right political views. Keep losing you, Brad. I'm going to buy you a better internet connection. Everyone should go to 5 Times August's website and get his record so we can get him some better high-speed internet. I just joke. Maybe the problem's on my end. I have no idea. We'll see if Brad joins us. I know we're probably getting close to wrapping up here anyway. While we wait for Brad to come back, this is the live performance of the most banned video that we've ever put out. This is Do Not Comply live here in my home studio.
They want to own your body, they want to own your soul. You're just a commodity, they want complete control. One shot to buy your freedom, 2 shots to go outside, 3 shots to see your family, 4 shots, then you die. Do not comply, see through their lies. Do not comply, or you'll die. Checkpoints and contact tracers, your every move checked and traced. Now's the time to find your courage and meet the day brave-faced. Evil men and their lackeys have a plan for us all. It's not about a virus, they want to make Lady Liberty fall. Do not comply, see through their lies. Do not comply, or you'll die.
All right, Brad is still MIA, but thank all of you for tuning in tonight. And I see Karen in the comments here. I'd really like to buy a CD. Does anyone make them anymore? We do make CDs. Faithless Town has everything except our newest album is available on CD, and you can find it either at Bandcamp or Amazon. So I think Amazon for our last record that came out on a indie label there, it's just on Amazon and other like the mainstream distributors. And then for the stuff we've done independently, you can go to Bandcamp and find it. I'll try to put those links down. But yeah, I'm an old school physical media guy. I love CDs. You can't see it, but on both sides of my desk here, I have a massive compact disc library, probably like 1,000 CDs, and I have it all in alphabetical order and then chronologically. So starting with like Alice in Chains or Aerosmith or something, and going to the Zombies. So yeah, please support us. You can go to faithlesstown.com is my website, and I believe Brad's is 5timesaugust.com. I will double check that. Yes, 5timesaugust.com, and we are faithlesstown.com. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Once again, if you're anywhere in the southeast of the United States, please come out and see us at the Cobra. We've still got some tickets left for that we're and I'll post a link to that as well. But we're playing at the Cobra in Nashville, so you can just look up the Cobra in East Nashville, and there will be a link to buy tickets. I think there's still some tickets left, and we would love to see you and hang out. It's going to be a stellar show. I'm really excited to meet Ryan Christian of The Last American Vagabond. He's personally one of my favorite journalists. He does a weekly news show at thelastamericanvagabond.com and called the Daily Wrap Up. And he's one of the few people out there that will give you the news in a nonpartisan, kind of objective way, and it cuts through all the BS, and kind of gives you all the information and lets you form your own conclusions. And he's also a talented songwriter. And then we will have Campbell Harrison, who is a fantastic Nashville-based songwriter, who's going to close out the show for us. And of course, we'll be there playing some music. I'll be with the full band. Brad will be there doing his thing. I hope he plays all the hits. I hope we get to hear Sad Little Man live and his new one, Fight for You. And Silent War. That one's a tearjerker. I told him I might cry if he plays that one. So anyway, let's see. I emailed Brad. Let's see if he emailed me back. No. Let's hope let's hope that the stormtroopers didn't come for him. But anyway, y'all, it's been a beautiful hour hanging out with you. I'm Gene from Faithless Town. Please follow us subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all the socials. We're on all the mainstream stuff. Plus, we're also on Gitter, and we're on Rumble and Odyssey for alternative, more free speech oriented platforms. Stay fearless. And Karen's asking, Brad's saying, trying to get back on, folks. So sorry for the disconnections. I think Brad's got, if I'm not mistaken, Brad has CDs of his former stuff, but I don't know if he has anything of all the awesome new singles that he's been putting out over the past couple of years. I think I don't want to speak for him, but I did hear him say at one point he was waiting until he had like a full album worth of those new kind of topical protest songs, and then he was going to be putting out a CD. All right, we're going to wait for you, Brad. I'm trying. I forgot all my dad jokes. Maybe while we're waiting for Brad, we'll see if he comes back just so we can have a nice little wrap up. I'll play you a song I'm going to play you Coal Mining Man, which I referenced earlier tonight. We'll see how that goes. There we go. Oh, perfect time, Brad. Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I'm telling you, I told everyone to go out and buy your music because we need to get you some faster internet.
Seriously, I have invested in faster internet. I was telling you about my podcast with my brother we did for a year, and I invested, and I'm hard lined in, but I'm still having. I think somebody's watching the show and they're messing. Somebody's got access to my internet. It's creepy, but sorry about all that. I apologize to everybody watching. Sorry to you. It's very unprofessional of me to.
Dude, it's the technocrats' fault. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Well, folks were asking, where can they find a 5 Times August CD?
So the CD is coming together as we speak. All the songs are on Apple Music and Spotify, Amazon. If you don't like the big guys, you can download the music from Bandcamp, and just go to 5timesaugust.com. And then right now I'm pulling together all the singles, and I've got a few more tracks I'm going to finish up, and then I'm going to make an actual physical album on CD and hopefully vinyl, and have that out within the next couple months. So that's what I'm trying to get finished during this crazy time.
That's rad, man. I definitely want a CD. I wish I had a turntable, but I don't at the moment. So
yeah,
but I'm a big physical media guy.
Yeah. I really want to make it something special. That's not just like just a CD in a case, which I've done many times. But these songs feel like they need something a little cooler. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll try to get that out there. It's weird because I've been writing an album over the course of a whole year. Like everybody's sort of that's been following me has watched me really in live time create an album. And so I've got 2 more to finish, and then we'll cull them together and make an album, and it'll be something. It'll be something special.
Yeah, I think we're putting out this 2-part album, and the first part came out in April, and that's what's got which has Live Free, which I played the video for, and Do Not Comply, the video that's been banned, that you can only find in the nether regions of the internets and the black market of the internet. But it's I kind of envision it as like side A and side B of an LP. So side A is kind of like the more kind of rocking full band songs, and then side B will be more of the acoustic numbers.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping to have volume 2, the second part of it, out in the fall, and then when they're both out, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to have an actual physical release and a CD for it.
It's awesome.
But for people that are coming to the Nashville show, will you have some merch with you? Do you have anything?
I don't think I'll have anything with me. But you know, I'm just probably going to direct to the website, and if they want a shirt and to download the music in the meantime, that's the best way to sort of support the music right now. And I'm going to restructure the web.
Come on, Brad. You can do this. Dear NSA, could you just let us finish this stream? We would appreciate it. All right, we'll see if Brad comes back for goodbye. I know it is wild. They are after my boy over there. They're not having it. Anyway, this is Coal Mining Man. We'll see if Brad comes back. Hopefully he will. Oh, there he is.
Spent my whole life working in the mines, 27 years neath the hemlock pines in old Kentucky. I was only 18 when I took the job, just like my daddy and my granddaddy did before me. With dirty faces and calloused hands, we worked these tunnels till we could barely stand. And now they're closing up the mine, shutting down the plants. There's no place left for a coal mining man. There's no place left for a coal mining man. When the jobs left town, I thought I'd do the same, but all I've ever known has been this place, and I can't seem to go. Toughest part is looking in Rose's eyes and telling her it'll be alright when I just don't know. With dirty faces and calloused hands, we worked these tunnels till we could barely stand. Now they're closing up the mine, shutting down the plants. There's no place left for a coal mining man. There's no place left for a coal mining man. I can feel myself begin to disappear. My whole way of life is gone, forgotten like a relic of yesteryear. I don't know how to keep moving on. Well, there's boarded up windows down on Main Street. There's men on the corner like scattered leaves. There's an air that weighs a ton. There's a sadness in my mama's eyes, and every time I cough I hear her cry, oh Lord, don't take my son. With dirty faces and calloused hands, we worked these tunnels until we could barely stand. Now they're closing up the mine, shutting down the plants. There's no place left for a coal mining man. There's no place left for a coal mining man.
Brad's back. Wait, Brad's back.
Only for a limited time.
I know, man. I'd love for you to do a song, but it might probably
Yeah,
freeze, right?
I would love to do one, but I feel like as soon as I strum the first chord, I'm gonna get nicked again. So
No,
I
man.
apologize for all that this evening, and I'll get my act together and get back online one day. It's so crazy. Like I said, like I do one of these things. My internet works all day. I get online, I start running my mouth. Boop. Like it's seriously creepy.
You're on a list, man. Well, hey,
Yeah.
it's been a great hour hanging out with you, and I'm so glad we finally got to connect. And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the show on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll keep, I think there's still some tickets left for that, so hopefully people will come out and hang, and we'll do another one of these in the future. So yeah.
Cool.
Anything else before we leave? Where can people find you? What's next? Any of that
Yeah.
stuff?
Just 5timesaugust.com is just the best way to stay up to date. I got a mailing list on there you can sign up for in case I get kicked off of Twitter or any of the other platforms. Just sign up on the mailing list. And yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to the show. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Brad, hang after I end of the broadcast just so we can talk logistics real fast about Saturday. But yeah, and please, you can sign up on our mailing list at faithlesstown.com. We like I said earlier, we have CDs on Amazon and all the big retailers, and we're also on Bandcamp, and we're on all the streaming platforms. So please subscribe and follow us, and stay fearless out there and continue to live free. We'll see you soon.